Welcome to Honeybee. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell. Real stories of love, lies, and betrayal, where every truth stings. Let's begin. I had always believed that love meant sacrifice. So, when I met Claire in our sophomore year, I was instantly drawn to her ambition, her fiery determination to succeed, and her relentless optimism. We were inseparable, and our dreams seemed intertwined. I was studying engineering, earning modestly from a part-time job, but Clara's dream was always bigger. She wanted to be a doctor. The moment she told me that, I felt a strange mix of awe and fear. Medical school wasn't just expensive. It was nearly impossible, without enormous financial backing. I remember lying awake at night, thinking about ways I could support her. I wanted her to reach that dream, even if it meant putting my own life on hold. So I began saving every penny I could. I took on extra shifts, sacrificed weekends with friends, and even declined a few small trips I had longed for. Every coin I put aside felt like an investment in her future. I convinced myself that this was love, that the struggles I endured were part of a story I would proudly tell one day. Over the years, I helped her with tuition, books, and living expenses. I attended every fundraising event she dragged me to, even when they bored me to tears. I became her unofficial financial advisor, sometimes even covering groceries when her funds ran low. People often told me I was foolish, that no one should pour their entire life savings into another person's ambitions. But love blinded me, or maybe it enlightened me. I could never be sure. By the time graduation approached, I was tired, worn down by years of sacrifice, yet inexplicably proud. Clara had finally achieved her goal. She would be a doctor. The idea should have filled me with joy, but I felt a flicker of anxiety. Graduation parties often reveal more than they celebrate. Friends, colleagues, and families would gather, laugh, toast champagne, and share stories. And perhaps, I feared, some truths might be whispered too loudly for my heart to bear. The night of her graduation party was perfect, or so it appeared. The venue was adorned with flowers, banners congratulating Clara, and balloons that bobbed gently in the air. Friends and family mingled, laughter echoing through the hall. I had bought her a small gift, a silver necklace with a tiny heart pendant, something delicate and meaningful. I watched her smile as she unwrapped it, her eyes sparkling with gratitude. At that moment, everything felt worth it. All the sleepless nights, the financial strain, the sacrifices, they all seemed justified. But love, I was about to learn, is often tested in the quietest, most unexpected ways. I was standing near the buffet, nursing a glass of wine, tried blending with the crowd, when I heard it, a voice I knew too well, speaking words that cut deeper than any knife. Clara was laughing, not just a normal laugh, but the kind that hinted at secrets. I tilted my head, pretending not to eavesdrop, but the conversation pulled me closer without my consent. And I couldn't believe he spent all that money on me. Honestly, I don't know why he does it. It's almost embarrassing, Clara said, her tone like casual, almost gleeful. My heart stopped. I blinked, unsure if I had heard correctly. My stomach churned, a hollow pit forming as I strained to catch every word. Her friend, a woman I'd always thought was sweet, responded, "Well, he's hopelessly in love. You could do anything, and he'd still bend over backward for you." Clara laughed again, louder this time, her hand brushing against her friend's arm. "I know, right? I guess some people just have too much pride or too little sense. I mean, really, he spent all those years and all that money. It's almost funny now that I think about it." Funny. She said it was funny. I felt my knees weaken, and for a moment, I had to hold onto the table to steady myself. All those nights I had worried, all the sacrifices, the money I had painstakingly saved, it had meant nothing to her. Nothing. I wanted to scream, to confront her in front of everyone, to demand the respect I had earned through years of unwavering support. But a cold, sharp realization washed over me instead. Love is not always reciprocated. Sometimes, no matter how much you give, the other person never values it. I stepped back, my wine glass trembling in my hand. The party continued around me, oblivious to the storm raging inside. Faces smiled, toasts were made, music played. but I felt like I was watching it all from behind a glass wall. And then, with a sudden clarity, I understood something I had been denying for years. I didn't just support her financially. I had invested my very life, my very hope, into someone who saw it as a joke. That night, I left the party early. The city lights blurred as I drove home, my mind spinning. I realized that my love, my sacrifice, had been one-sided. And yet, a part of me still ached for the girl who had once inspired me, who had once seemed destined to share a life with me. How cruel fate could be, to gift you the dream of your life, only to have it twisted into a lesson in heartbreak. The next morning, I woke up with a heavy, hollow feeling pressing against my chest. The city outside my window looked ordinary, indifferent, while my world had suddenly shifted. I couldn't stop replaying Clara's words in my mind. The laughter, the mockery, the ease with which she dismissed everything I had given her. Each memory of our shared years, every late-night study session I had helped fund, every small act of care, now seemed like a cruel joke I had played on myself. I tried calling her, but her phone went straight to voicemail. I debated texting her, writing some measured, composed message about how I felt, but no word seemed adequate. How do you tell someone you feel utterly betrayed after giving them everything, including yourself? I didn't even know if I wanted an explanation. Part of me wanted to scream. Another part wanted to vanish into the silence of my apartment, away from the world and its pain. Instead, I did the only thing I could. I reflected. I thought about the sacrifices I'd made, the sleepless nights, the days I skipped meals so she could eat well, the money I poured into her dream, and the emotional energy I had spent believing in us. And I realized something that hurt more than betrayal itself. I had tied my worth, my identity, to her approval. My love had been conditional, shaped by her success and happiness. In giving everything, I had forgotten to protect myself. Days passed. I avoided calling Clara, avoided parties, avoided friends who asked about her graduation. Every memory of her presence was now a sharp pang. And yet, amidst the pain, a small, stubborn ember of clarity began to burn. Love was supposed to lift you up, not reduce you to a shadow of yourself. I had been so focused on making her dream come true that I had abandoned my own well-being. Then came the confrontation. I couldn't live with the lingering questions and unspoken truths. I drove to her apartment one evening, rehearsing my words, my face set in a mask of calm I didn't feel. She opened the door, radiant as ever, wearing that triumphant smile that had once made my heart flutter. "I thought we could talk," I said quietly, stepping inside. Clara's eyes flickered with something I couldn't place. Surprise, annoyance, perhaps guilt, but she quickly masked it with a shrug. "Sure," she said, her tone light, as if nothing had happened. I took a deep breath, forcing myself to meet her gaze. "I overheard you at your party," I said. My voice shook, though I tried to keep it steady. "Everything you said about me, about my support, do you even realize how much that hurt?" For a moment, she was silent, then laughed softly. "Oh, come on. It was just a joke." "You know I love you," she said casually, almost dismissively. But I saw through it. The spark of honesty was gone from her eyes, replaced by a calculation. The person I had once adored, the woman whose dreams I had supported at every cost, was no longer the Clara I thought I knew. "I supported you, Clara. I gave you everything I could without asking for anything in return," I said, my voice firmer now. "And you mocked me. At your party. In front of everyone." She rolled her eyes. "You're taking it too seriously." I didn't mean anything by it. That was it. That was the moment I realized that nothing I had done had mattered in the way I thought it did. The love I had poured into her life, my sacrifices, my belief in us, it had all been invisible to her. And in that moment, I made a choice. "I can't do this anymore," I said. "I can't invest my life into someone who doesn't value me. I hoped you'd understand, hoped that you'd appreciate it. But I see now that I was wrong. I'm done." Her expression faltered, a flicker of something like regret passing across her face. But she quickly masked it. "Are you serious?" she asked, though her voice lacked conviction. I nodded, steady now. "Yes, I deserve better. I need to rebuild my life, my dignity, my self-respect. and I will. Leaving her apartment, I felt an unexpected weight lift from my shoulders. The pain of betrayal still lingered, but it was tempered by the clarity of self-realization. For the first time in years, I felt free, not from love, but from the illusion of love that had been holding me captive. In the weeks that followed, I focused on myself. I threw myself into work, rediscovered old hobbies, and reconnected with friends I had neglected. I saved money for my own dreams, traveled to places I had once only imagined, and learned to laugh without feeling guilty. The heartbreak had been excruciating, but it had also been transformative. One evening, I received a message from Clara. It was brief. "Can we talk?" I stared at it for a long time, feeling a flicker of old emotion, but this time I felt nothing but calm. I didn't reply. I didn't need to. The chapter was closed. Over time, the pain faded, leaving lessons in its place. I learned that love is not about blind sacrifice, that supporting someone doesn't mean losing yourself, and that true respect and gratitude cannot be demanded. They must be freely given. Most importantly, I learned that my worth was never tied to anyone else's ambitions or approval. Years later, I still think about Claire occasionally, but the thought no longer pierces me. I am living my own life, pursuing my own dreams, and sharing my love with people who truly value it. The experience left scars, yes, but it also left wisdom, resilience, and the ability to recognize the difference between genuine love and the illusion of it. And sometimes, late at night, I smile to myself because I survived. I rebuilt. And in the end, I found a love that is not draining, not one-sided, but mutual, respectful, and real.